Ah, Pikachu, I don't know why, but this place is starting to make me feel a little bit uneasy. Hola, amigos, it's Will here from Will's Custom Figures, coming at you today with a big bad breakdown of some of my all-time favourite Halloween-inspired Pokemon. So please sit back and relax while I talk you through everything to do with these sculptures, these little action figures that I've got in my collection, and why Ditto's in this video, and all the details in between. So first things first, guys, it's Halloween season, one of my favourite seasons of the year. And as you can see, there's obvious Halloween characters that have been inspired by things like pumpkins. Here we have Pumpkaboo, and I'm going to move this lovely little jack-o'-lantern out of the way. And you also have other characters that, maybe like Spiritomb here, isn't necessarily a Halloween-related character, but man, he just gives off some scary-ass vibes. So here you go. I'm going to break down each character one by one. These have been in my collection for quite a long time, and hopefully you enjoyed this little video as a Halloween special. As you can see here is Spiritomb. It's been moved house many times. I think it's 3 house moves. It's sat in a box for probably about, I'd say about 8 to 9 months, and it still looks pretty good. It's in pretty good shape. I absolutely love this Pokemon figure though. Really underrated, really cool. I remember the first time I saw it, and as an actual Pokemon, the design, it's cool, it's creepy, it's not necessarily my favourite, but man, for a Halloween special, you've got to have it. I love all these like little vines. It's sort of like climbing over this pot and creeping out. Kind of a little bit like Seymour, the that massive plant that was climbing out of the shop in Little Shop of Horrors. But yeah, I love that. It's definitely a cool figure to have in the collection. Now, going back to nostalgia, guys, I don't know if all of these characters have been on my videos before, but here we have the one and only Ditto. I love Ditto. Let's just try and focus the camera there. This was actually made with some of the leftover, very poor clay that I had when I first started sculpting, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. So as you can see, there's a lot of little imperfections and marks, finger marks, scratches, and yeah, as you can see here, this is the clay. I actually upgraded my clay afterwards from this really cheap stuff off Amazon to the best of the best, Super Sculpey. So I'm very happy that I did that. And yeah, this clay definitely leaves a lot to the imagination and is not it's not the best stuff to use. And I'm going to move on, guys. Of course, I'm going to move on to Coughing and Wheezing. Man, I love these guys. I actually made him first. As you can see, he's not floating through the sky. I would have, in retrospect, liked to have done him like I have here, like his younger first evolution form here. Coughing. I would have liked to have done him with some kind of metal coming out and then a nice base. As you can see, I've just got some rocks and I've put clay around it. I've wrapped armature wire and then covered the armature wire around the base with clay, and I've worked on this one as hard as I could, man. Team Rocket, these are 2 of my all-time favourites from watching the animated TV show back in the day as a kid. And yeah, you can see even deep into the mouth there. I don't know if you can see, I'll move the light. But yeah, really happy with how that all turned out. And yeah, definitely 2 of my all-time favourite Pokemon characters. Very happy to have them in the collection. So let me just move him around here. Let's move him here. And then let's have a quick look at Pumpkaboo. Now, Pumpkaboo I actually made for somebody as a commission. And I was so upset that I've made this figure and was getting rid of it straight away as a commission that I then made myself one. But as you can see, he's a pumpkin. He's been overtaken by this really crazy, evil-looking Pokemon character. Beautiful Vallejo colours here. I think it's Beastie Brown I've used on the top. I've used lots of armature wire, especially to attach this cool little hairpiece, whatever it is here, and the horns. And then yeah, Fire Orange, I think it was on the pumpkin, but definitely one of my all-time favourites. And I had to have him. As soon as I made him, I fell in love with him. On the game, man, I'd be skipping this guy all day long. I did not care for having a Pumpkaboo in the collection. But in reality, man, that is a cute, and it's an engineering masterpiece to actually create it. It's very difficult. So I had to have it. Now, talk about challenges. That is one of the hardest challenges. This, not so much. Was it executed perfectly? No, I did this in about an hour, and it is definitely not one of my favourite Pokemon. But little Litwick here, I do like the shading, how it goes from blue to purple, and yeah, little candle Pokemon. He's cute. My version definitely isn't the cutest. He's got a nice little tail here. And yeah, it's a cool concept. I think for me, I like the sort of more scarier ones. Speaking of scary, let's bring over old Duskull. Now, this one, I really, really tried to push the boat out. I don't know if you can see inside. I'm going to have to try and play around with the light here, guys. But yeah, there we go. You can actually see like the orb inside his head. There we go. You can see it behind the eye there. There we go, behind the eyes. So this is actually, I created the whole thing. And then I didn't put the faceplate on. I wanted to put the faceplate on last because I had the intention of having this little ball hover inside like his brain. And yeah, this guy is pretty mucky. I'm just going to wet my finger and just try and wipe off some of this fluff and muck that's on him, because this guy has just been stuck in a box for a very, very long time. I love the base, just mixed purple and yellow together. I haven't painted that again like I did with the previous one. I've got a rock, a stone, and I've wrapped it in armature wire, and I've used clay, flattened the base. You can see the clay there, and then all the different coloured clays, and then I've sculpted on top of it. But Duskull was an absolute must for my collection, especially when you've got anything Halloween related. Man, having a Pokemon like this, just woo! This is Halloween. This is creepy. It's a skeleton ghost. You can't get much more creepier than that. Now, on to one of my all-time favourites. Here we have good old Zubat. Oh, no, is it Golbat? It's Golbat, isn't it? Now, you can see on here, there's a little crack, fracture, stress mark here from the clay. There's another one. This is one of the earliest ones that I ever created. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I've actually used a steel mesh for the wings so they don't break. And yeah, it's not perfect. There's lots of little imperfections, but that's what makes a sculpture fun. I first worked on the wings and then I sculpted the body around it. I've had to, over the years, change up the feet to different angles and directions and add a little bit of clay just to make sure he stands correctly. But as you can see, he stands. You can stand him on something like that. At the beginning, I think I had Pikachu on like a little stand. I don't know if I can find that stand anywhere. No, can't find it. But yeah, you can basically, here we go. You can basically balance him and stand him on anything. So here we go. I just got this. And then this is how I display him, looking down in the cave section with Onyx and Zubat and all of the other little characters. But yeah, I absolutely love this Pokemon. Despite its imperfections, it has many, many areas that I would improve if I was to sculpt it again. But yeah, I'm still happy with how it turned out. And for something I made about 6 or 7 years ago creatively, I'm very, very happy with it. Now, here we are. Here we go on to Mimikyu. So quite a new Pokemon figure for anybody that only likes the old Pokemon series and Pokemon franchise. And making him, the design, the mechanics behind creating him is actually quite complex. And for this, I'm going to bring in good old Pikachu, so you can do a little bit of a comparison. As you can see, he is a mimic Pokemon. He can mimic and take on different designs and characters and different Pokemon, I guess, that he comes across in the wilderness. And as you can see, he's taken on Pikachu here. So there are little bits of wear and tear, as you can see, just from where I've kept him stored and displayed. And that's just always going to happen with a sculpture. I'm still so proud of it. Pikachu and him really do complement each other and look cool. Of course, the actual Pokemon is just these little two eyes here. And then he changes his body and surroundings to try and mimic Pikachu the best that he can. I have worked very, very hard on making sure, you can see there's layers. You've got the yellow layer and then the black layer underneath. I made it and I took a lot of time to make sure that it looked accurate as per the game, but I made it first with the black base. After I've done the black base, then made it overall shape, I then added on this second base on top with the triangular sort of spikes coming off, and then sculpted the upper part of the head. But yeah, man, I love this. Whether or not he gets a crayon and, you know, with his foot or arm or whatever it is here, I think he uses this as like an arm. He draws all of this face and the red cheeks and stuff on. I don't know all the history behind Mimikyu, But man, this is like, to me, Halloween, it's all about creepy, and he is the king of creepy. So, speaking of the kings, you cannot have anything Halloween related without having good old Haunter, Gastly, and Gengar. And as you can see, Gengar here in all of his glory. Wow, so pleased with this. This is probably about 5 years old. It's a must for the collection. I would do a bit of a size comparison. If anyone ever wants to see it, let me know. Next to Charizard, Venusaur, Bulbasaur, and everybody else. Blastoise. But yeah, this final evolution, very, very cool. He's desperately in need of a repaint. As you can see here, there is a lot of like dust and just general sort of wear and tear and things. These guys have moved house with me so many times. Unfortunately, it just means that they do get a little bit damaged over the time. And yeah, Gastly was another one for me. Whew. I wish that I'd have done him like this with an armature wire in the middle to make him float, but basically just worked very, 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 very hard to try and make sure that this smoke looked like smoke at the back. When I first sculpted Gastly, I didn't realise that there was a type of clay called Procreate Putty that I could have potentially used to have given a better smoke effect, and so these bits would move. These bits are made with super sculpey clay and will break if you move them too much. But for a sculpture, you know, if they're standing next to each other, let's pop him here. Man, he definitely like ticks all the boxes as far as Gastly is concerned. In retrospect, doing him flying would have probably been the next best thing to do. And then, oh, I'm just trying to break my sculptures here. We have Haunter. I actually did their hands separately. So I'm going to put him on my hand so you can see him. So here are the two hands. I thought it'd be cool, I have changed my mind since, to have the hands separate so I could float them. I wish that I'd have put them on some kind of wire, because as you can see, they kind of just fall around. But still very, very happy with how he's turned out. I'm going to just move the camera down. It's too hard to just keep that on my hand without my hand moving. So there we go. So you can sort of display him however you want. You could do him attacking someone. You know, if these two were facing off against each other, we could put him here and then do one of the claws here, for example, and the other one grabbing him and sort of like pulling him in. So it's pretty cool for display purposes. However, just for ease of maneuverability and everything else, I don't like that the hands are separate. But either way, we live and learn. Guys, that is it for this Pokemon video. I'm going to bring Ash in and Pikachu so I can bring this video to a close. Here we go. Let's put Ash here. Looking very cool. And here's Pikachu as well. I'm really, really happy with how these turned out. I really hope you guys are as well. I had to, of course, use the Mortal Kombat Shao Kahn throne for a Halloween display. Man, it wouldn't be Halloween unless I use something like that. I'm going to bring back in this little pumpkin, this little jack-o'-lantern here. And, oh, look at that. From all the different angles, these Pokemon, it doesn't matter how you display them, they all look cool. I'm really, really happy. It's like looking at many, many years, almost a decade of sculpting, looking at these guys. And let me know in the comment section below which one is your favourite, who you want me to review next. I am working on finishing Jolteon over the next couple of days. Man, I can't wait to do a review of Eevee, Vaporeon, Umbreon, Flareon. And yeah, that is going to be a great review. I can't wait to get all of those figures finally finished and into a video review for this page. And that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next one. And from myself, from Gengar, from all the other cool characters, and of course, not forgetting Pikachu and Ash, please like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I'll catch you on the next one. Adios!